this is I hate using the word made up topic because I write these topics and we were supposed to talk about this last week and we just didn't have enough time and we didn't have enough panel members to really sink our teeth into it. What am I talking about? Well, specifically the innovations of Xbox. Now, Snap Blast Play is an Twitter member that is super into Xbox. That's his brand of choice. And one of the things that he posted the other day is innovations for Xbox gaming and what they've been able to do over the course of the last couple of years. And the thing is this, I don't think people give Xbox enough credit for some of these innovations. Now, look, I'm going to be honest with you. If it was just Sony out there, games would be $100 right now. There's no question. If it was just Nintendo out there, they would port over with little to no effort everything from the Wii and the GameCube and put it on the Switch. Yes, there'd be some new games in there, but they would port everything to make that extra money. It's because of these things, and I'm going to read the list. And again, shout out to Snap Blast Play on Twitter. Freaking guy is amazing. Puts out great posts like this all the time. If you're not subscribed, you should subscribe to him. So, Corkenstein, I'm going to go to you first because, look, I don't know which are going to be your top five. I know which top five are for me personally, and we'll get to that on the back end. But these are just some of the innovations. And if there's something that's not listed here, by all means, please jump in and add that during your spiel. You got smart delivery. You got quick resume, which, by the way, was just taken away from PlayStation 5 users. They literally had something. It wasn't as good, but they had something similar, and they simply just said, nope, it's just too much of a resource, gone. They just took it away. No excuse, no nothing. You have Microsoft Rewards. Now, I don't know about anybody that does that. I got Metaphor for free. I've gotten tons of games for free. I've gotten controllers for free. I'm currently sitting just a pinch under back to 200,000. I had over 300,000 points, and that's simply by just playing your games, going on Bing, doing some searches. I get like 300 or 400 points per day. I don't miss it at all. I have I think I'm 123-day streak I'm on. MS Rewards is freaking amazing. You have backwards compatibility, which was announced during the Xbox One. I mean, that brought down the house then, and I still think it's so important. And I think that is one of the reasons why we haven't gotten the catalog for Activision, because they're currently working to bring those games over through backwards compatibility. But it's not just going to get that. You're going to get the auto HDR, which is a part of this list. And I think that's huge. You're going to get FPS boosts on your games. And you know what you're going to have to pay for that? Nothing. You're simply going to have the game in your collection. And if you have it on disc, put it in your console that plays discs. If you have it downloaded digitally, play it. And you will be able to get auto HDR. You'll get an FPS boost. And it's going to look like a new game. Does PlayStation do that? Yes, they do to some extent, but not with their older stuff. I'm talking about the PlayStation 4 days, and they charge you $10, and we still don't know if they're going to charge you for the PlayStation 5 Pro upgrade. We don't know that. They haven't talked about it. No one's asking. I wonder why. You also have free play weekends, which a lot of the platforms do. You got the PlayStation, you got the Xbox and PC dual entitlements, which is great. Xbox Live is an innovation in itself. Xbox achievements, in my opinion, are better than trophies. Even though I do wish that they had some, because again, that was copied. The trophies didn't come to years later on the PlayStation 3. I would like some sort of a platinum-esque. Hey, I got 1,000 out of 1,000. I think that would be cool. The adaptive controller in itself is leaps and bounds better than anyone's, and it has really changed for anyone that is a handicapped gamer, a gamer that they consider themselves, challenged by, certain things in their lives. This has changed their lives. They can play games. It's pretty amazing. Corkenstein, I want to hand it over to you, man. What for you jumps off the page for Xbox innovations? And again, this is something that they don't get credit for. Like I said, this list is probably 6 or 7 other things that they do great, including Xbox Game Pass. That's not on this list. What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get some virtual tomatoes here, but third party, releasing games on PlayStation. I'm not, I don't really believe in putting, do I play in the Xbox ecosystem? Yes. Is it my preferred platform of choice? Yes. But as a consumer, if I can get more games elsewhere, that's a big win for me as a consumer.
Okay.
And it's definitely pushing, I hope the industry into a new direction to where we don't have that anymore. I mean, we've already seen in like Coffee was talking about, PlayStation's hurting right now. They're looking at options, they're weighing things, seeing how they're going to recoup some of this money that, they've had some failed investments on. And even now, I mean, look at Horizon's going to Nintendo, but people don't really, oh, third party this, they don't make a big deal about that. But PlayStation is going to Nintendo for third party. And I think as a consumer, if you can be in an ecosystem or if you could be on a platform and spend in another ecosystem while being on that platform, then that's a big win for you as a consumer. More games is never a bad thing. And
Indeed.
I think that's where I don't think Xbox should have gotten the credit that they should have for it. Another big one for me is Play Anywhere. That's the PC Xbox entitlement.
Yeah.
A lot of games are Play Anywhere, even not in Xbox first party. I think most of the Sega games that have come out, I think, are Play Anywhere. It looks like I think Tom Warren had a tweet earlier. Was it yesterday, maybe? That they're updating the Xbox app UI. And he believes that might be because that they might be bringing Play Anywhere a little bit more to more games, or to help facilitate that for more games. So, yeah, I don't know. It's third party, Play Anywhere, and then honestly, I love Quick Resume. I don't like it for multiplayer games so much that need the online because it keeps kicking you.
Yes.
But as far as like just playing campaign and single player and just the technology behind it, yeah, Quick Resume. I would say those are my top 3 right there.
Great picks all around. Definitely great picks all around. Folks, I don't know why the footage paused like this. I'm going to switch it out in a second, but I do want to bring in Jamie Moran. Jamie, again, I'm interested to get your thoughts and your theories on the innovation that Xbox does not get credit for. They just don't. And they have made some big innovations that have moved the needle for gaming. Like I said, if you don't want an industry that only has PlayStation as your lead. If it's just them, we're paying $100 for games. If it's just Nintendo, you're getting remasters left, right, and center. I think that if you look at what Xbox has done with online, specifically with Xbox Game Pass, more specifically, something to Korkenstein's point, Play Anywhere. Like right now, you can take an Xbox game, play it on your PC, play it on your handheld, play it on your TV, play it through your console, play it on your phone. I mean, it's you're almost limitless to where you can play this game by using what they call cloud gaming. I like xCloud better personally, but they call it cloud gaming. What are your top picks for innovation for Xbox?
Well, I'll start off with backwards compatibility. I think that is probably one of the biggest ones because, people talk about legacy a lot and taking care of legacy and all that stuff, but Microsoft's really the only one that does that. You have backwards compatibility going back to the original Xbox, and you can pop in the discs of your original Xbox game, the
Yep.
Xbox 360 game, the Xbox One game, and all of them get some upgrades in some capacity. Some get auto HDR, some get 4K, some get 60 FPS, some even have 120 FPS. All have 16 times anisotropic filtering, and all of that is completely free.
Yep.
Free. I like the fact that on an Xbox, I'm not nickel and dimed every 5 seconds for games I already own. I love that. I love the fact that the games I own actually get upgraded for free. And I don't have to have like 10 different past generation consoles hooked up. I can just have my one console hooked up, put in the disc, download the game, whatever. And the fact that I can not only play the games that I already own and love, I can rediscover tons of games I missed. I think that's one of the best things about Xbox Live at the minute is that you can go on the store and in the top paid list, there's always some Xbox 360 game in there because a good game is a good game. They don't have expiration dates, and I love that. Next up, we have, I mentioned the free upgrades. By the way, next generation games, they're not labeled as remasters. They're not repackaged as remasters. We can just put in our disc. It recognizes that you have an Xbox Series X, and congratulations, you own the fancy new version. I love that. Cloud saves. It's such a unique thing that Xbox has free cloud saves, and they are the only console doing it. And nobody talks about it, right? Like the fact that you can carry forward your saves from Xbox 360 for free. You don't have to pay for Xbox Live for these saves, and you're going to be able to carry forward these saves for years to come, right? Other platforms on console charge for that stuff, which is crazy in my opinion. Quick resume is beautiful, right?
Yeah, it does. It's amazing.
I hop from game to game all the time.
I saw your video. I saw that Twitter post you did a couple of weeks ago where you were going from game to game. Pretty quick, man.
Yeah, it just takes seconds, and maybe it's call it OCD or ADHD or whatever you want, some combination of letters. But like, I do hop from game to game, and that is very good for me because I don't have loading screens. Then I play a lot of RPGs, so for me it's very useful. I love the fact that I just don't have that opening loading screen every bloody time, and it's very nice. Accessibility features and the adaptive controller. I think what Xbox has done for accessibility is tremendous. The amount of people that can play games now is more than ever due to certain disabilities or whatever. The adaptive controller really helps. The different features you have in the settings for accessibility is great.
Yes.
The Microsoft Rewards Bing integration. I got £100 off my Xbox Series X just because I saved up some points.
Wow, that's freaking great.
I've bought dozens of games. Hell, my Starfield controller was free.
Yeah.
like Microsoft Rewards is low key one of the best things. And yes, have they nerfed it over the past year and a half, especially in the UK? Like in the UK, by the way, I was getting like 1,000 points a day. And now not so much. But all in all, it's still a good service. And you can pay for your Game Pass. You can buy games, buy hardware.
Yep.
And I honestly don't know how anyone has a problem with that. Let's see. And if we're going back even further, achievements.
Yeah.
Like nobody was doing achievements before Xbox. Like literally no one. It wasn't never a system-wide feature across anything. In fact, it was such a well-regarded feature that PlayStation had to hurry out and come out with trophies, right? And they had to try and like redo the PlayStation Network. So like, that just goes to show how achievements changed everything to the point where over 15 years later, people still want Nintendo to get them. So
yeah, they'll never do it.
Oh no.
They'll never do it.
This is one. The wireless controller came as a standard for the first time on an Xbox console.
Yeah, that's true.
Like we take it for granted, but like wireless controllers used to be a gimmick. And it's hard to believe that was a gimmick. You always had to buy this like massive dongle sticking out the console, and now it's just it is what it is. And obviously, I'm going to end up with Game Pass, right? Game Pass has completely changed the game for how people access the games they play. It introduces millions of people to genres that they wouldn't have even tried because the barrier of entry is literally zero for them. And I think, if you have there's people that only played first-person shooters, and they're going to have access to Game Pass. Let's say all these new Game Pass subscribers for Call of Duty. Like they're going to see all these games that they wouldn't normally play, and they're going to be introduced to RPGs, sim races, flight sims, RTS games, because there's no worry. They don't have to buy another game, and it's going to get them into the ecosystem for other genres. And I think that's the most unique thing about Game Pass is it introduces people to games they wouldn't normally play.
You're not wrong. I mean, again, high marks for both you and Cork. I love. Oh, we lost. I love coffee. No, here he is. There he is. Okay, there he's back. Hey, I love coffee. Listen, let's get your thoughts and your theories on the innovations that Xbox has brought to gaming, because it has been a significant amount of really big and small changes across. And like I said, you really started to see this with the. I mean, obviously, Xbox Live goes all the way back to the OG, but that to me isn't like tip of the spear. Getting backwards compatibility for free, getting upgrades on these games that are years old with HDR and FPS boosts for free. Xbox Game Pass worth its weight in gold. I'll go through my list, but what are your top picks?
So yeah, I mean, we can go through a list all day. I think if I were to kind of look at Xbox as a whole and their achievements, I think it's important to look at the new level of thinking that they're pushing across the board for the gaming atmosphere right now, and the whole environment as a whole, and how things are changing. I remember just a few years back, everybody looked at Don Maddock and said, "Get this guy off stage before we start throwing stones at him." And he was talking about DRM and all these kinds of things, but inevitably that happened anyway. Even with Sony's PlayStation commercial at sharing games, just to knock a joke or whatever the case may be, it was just, at the same time, the industry was headed in that direction, regardless, with DRM and digital downloads and what have you. And it seems to me that as again, being one of the most successful companies on the planet Earth, maybe the business analysts and people at Microsoft know what they're doing when it comes to what's going to happen. I mean, I could just be guessing, but I mean, they seem to be calling out things that are going to be happening, not within a 2 to 3 year time span, but within a 10 to 15 year time span. And I think it's important to look at that and kind of break that down. So, what ideas they have or how they're going to change the landscape of gaming. I think, like, I mean, even you could look at Xbox, and we know they're making new hardware and a new console. I think third-party titles and having that third-party support is just a key indicator to what their goal is at the end of the day, which is to bring their name everywhere. But at the same time, Microsoft, if they wanted to right now, they can easily push that narrative. All they really have to do is release a console with a Windows OS, have Steam attached to that experience, and then bam, you have PlayStation games on an Xbox. Why? Because there's no way in hell PlayStation will ever dictate what Gabe Newell does with Steam. So
yes,
so there's that. That's them putting Sony in a chokehold and saying, hey, maybe you might not want to work with us, but if we have Steam on our console and people can have that integrated little mini PC experience through our next Xbox and have Steam, have Windows, have all of that, then there really is no choice in the matter unless Sony doesn't put their games on Steam, which I don't think would be the case either, because they're looking to make money everywhere as well. So I think overall the narrative, and I think it's important to understand that Xbox, it's good to call out all these things that they do, of course, and the list goes on and on and on. But I think it's important to look at the bigger elephant in the room, and that is the change that Xbox is trying to push on the whole industry as a whole, and what they think the industry would look like from a perspective of benefiting everybody. And I can say also that narrative goes well within the walls of gaming development as a whole, because I can tell you firsthand, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, inside gaming development, they don't argue. There's not these kind of console wars occurring or people being like, oh yeah, you're a PlayStation fanboy, I'm an Xbox. No. It's all about working together and developing together and having those shared experiences. So, and I think that's what Xbox wants at the end of the day. They want gaming as a whole to be an experience that is just across the board able to be accessed by everybody everywhere. So you could look at things like quick resume, right? And playing an Xbox title on your Fire Stick or your proprietary technology that Xbox releases down the line, or your console or your phone. And then you have that quick resume feature to be accessed anywhere within your household, like Netflix or Prime does. And when you're watching movies, these are all quality of life things that most individuals, I'm not talking about us graybeards, but most new individuals, young kids, want that experience.
Yes.
They don't want to sit there and say, I'm going to boot up a console, I'm going to wait for it to install, even though I have a disc, but I still have to install it. I got to wait for it to start. I got to wait for it to this, yada, yada, yada. No, they want to get on their phone. They want to jump into experience right away because they have no patience. There's nothing there anymore. They're used to TikTok. So you have to look at that. Like, patience is gone.
Yeah.
So with that comes change, because you can't keep having that same kind of ecosystem where things are of an old school type thing and it continually work and make you money. You need to change with the atmosphere. So I think it's important to call out how Xbox and their analysts are looking at that possible future. And I do think, to close this out, I do think that within the next 10 to 15 years, I mean, consoles are going to be irrelevant. I think that game streaming as a whole is going to be the new way to do things. Instantaneous access to any title that you have at your disposal, anywhere, on any device that you own. I think that's what the future looks like, because everything always leads to a more streamlined process when it comes to us human beings, not just video games, but other things that we do on a day-to-day basis. We want things faster. We want them to be at our disposal. We don't want to wait. We don't want, so that is all part of that whole context and that whole narrative that Xbox is trying to push. That years back, when they brought it on stage with Don Maddock, they were booed off the stage to inevitably arrive at the same point in time right now. So let's I think we should probably pump the brakes and cool off a bit on, like, they're crazy and I can't believe they're doing this and going third party, and let's let them cook a bit and let them kind of use their ability to kind of mold that gaming environment to which I think at the end everybody will benefit from.